Alright guys, in today's video we're going to talk about nutrition and what foods are going to be best for you to consume, whether you're on a bulk or you're on a cut, or even if you're just cruising. Okay, so first we have to go back to the basics to understand that in a protein there's 4 calories, in fats it's 9 calories, and in carbs 4 calories again. So I've put together a graph with 100 grams worth of common types of proteins which people tend to consume. So we can see that 100 grams worth of egg whites, prawns and cod isn't going to be very high in calories. If we go to the other side of the spectrum, we can see that mackerel, the minced meat, high fat percentage, and chicken with the skin on is going to be a lot denser in calories. I put another graph together with all the common types of fats. As you can see, the oils are the most calorie dense, with 100 grams worth of oil almost 900 calories. If we look at 100 grams worth of fruit, you can see that quite a lot of the fruits out there tend to be the same. They're roughly around 50 calories. There's a bit of a spike when it comes to bananas, and then a huge increase when you start to compare all the different types of dried fruit out there. When we start to look at other forms of carbohydrates, we can see that the leafy greens, the vegetables, such as tomato, asparagus, things like that, tends to be very low in calories per 100 grams. And if we compare some of these common foods together, we can see how much 100 grams worth of different types of food can vary in the terms of calorie density. We've had a look at how many calories per 100 grams different foods are. Now we're going to look at how much 200 calories worth of food actually looks like in terms of volume. 200 calories worth of peanut butter, nuts or cheese doesn't look like a lot. Neither does granola or oil. 6 dates roughly equates to 200 calories. The chorizo, sweet potato, cooked rice and kidney beans tend to take up a little bit more volume. 2 bananas is roughly 200 calories. You've got a little bit of bread. 6 plain rice cakes. You then have the different types of meat. Moving on, we can see 3 apples is around 200 calories. You'd need 600 grams of broccoli to match that. You would need 4 packs of tomatoes to get 200 calories. And you'd need roughly 6 packets of spinach. Now this is important to understand, especially if you go out to eat at a restaurant. You might think, I'm going to get something quite sensible, a low calorie fish dish. However, if that fish has been prepared in fats, oil, it's been fried, and then it's been absolutely doused to the max in high calorie sauce, you're going to be consuming a hell of a lot more fats and calories than you originally thought you were. So if I'm going on a cut, what I'm going to look to do is to try and consume the foods with the largest amount of volume possible in order to keep me satisfied, to keep me full, okay? So I'm going to be having some fruits, ideally the ones which are the lowest in calorie density. I'm going to have lots of vegetables, particularly the green ones, such as broccoli, tomatoes, spinach, asparagus, everything like that. So what I've done here is put together a high calorie meal which takes up the lowest amount of volume. With the eggs, cheese, avocado, nuts, mackerel and dates, that equates to around 1,250 calories. Let's see if we compare that to a lower calorie meal, which in fact actually takes up more volume. With vegetables such as tomatoes, beetroot, spinach, broccoli, add some chicken and an apple on top, and that only adds up to 376 calories. Now when it comes to food, it's important to understand the volume of the food that you're eating. Okay? If you are eating something which is high in volume, which contains a lot of liquid or takes up a lot of space within your stomach, it's going to cause your stomach to expand, and when your stomach starts to expand slightly, it will send signals to the brain telling you that you're full. That's the satiety feeling, the feeling of fullness, okay? And it's something that is generally quite nice to have. We all want that, okay? It's obviously something which is going to be more common and more frequent when you're bulking and less frequent when you're cutting. So here's a little hack how you can squeeze more calories into having a slice of this Ezekiel bread, whatever it's called. Okay, so this is 60 grams, 114 calories. Now, I'm gonna add some peanut butter. This is 200 calories. So we spread 31 grams of the peanut butter on, so we've added 200 calories right there. What I'm gonna do as well, I'm gonna add a tablespoonful of jam, which is around 58 calories. So there we go. Now we've got 365 calories from the original 114 calories. Here's another little hack. So this was the oatmeal, 200 calories worth when you cook it in water. Okay, it's pretty high in volume, and when you have this, it's pretty heavy. These little sachets from Quaker Oats. This is the big bowl golden syrup, around 50 grams. This is 185 calories. Now obviously when you cook oatmeal, it changes quite a bit in volume because of all the water or milk that it absorbs in the process. So if you're the type of person who is bulking and you struggle to fit the calories in, what I would do is, because obviously having it dry would be unbelievably disgusting, I'm going to add a tiny bit of almond milk in, just to make it edible. But since the almond milk's sweetened and obviously it's got more calories than water, this one actually has more calories in than that one. That's 200, that's going to be around 210, 220. If I wanted to increase the calories without really increasing the volume, I could add peanut butter, a bit of honey, mix it up, and then sprinkle a little bit of granola on top, and instantly I've added over 300 calories. If I wanted to increase the calories of rice, I could just sprinkle a tablespoonful of olive oil onto it, and instantly I've added 120 calories without increasing the volume. Now, just because you're cutting, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy some of the things which you really like to consume. Okay? If I'm on a cut, I will still have peanut butter from time to time, but I do understand that it's just not going to fill me up. Say for example 200 calories worth of peanut butter when compared to 200 calories worth of something else. It's so dense that it's just not going to fill my stomach up and send signals to my brain saying, yeah, we're full, we're satisfied. When it comes to bulking and you're struggling to fit the calories in, it doesn't mean that you have to avoid all fruits and vegetables which are low in calorie density. No, you can still have them, but you've got to understand that having more of them isn't really going to help. If you have a big plate full of leafy greens, it's just going to fill you up and you're going to struggle to fit more calories in. So I would still have some, yes, but I would replace quite a lot of those greens with more calorie dense options. And you don't need to worry about, oh, well, what if I don't get the same amount of fiber or the vitamins and minerals in? If you're replacing them with suitable options such as nuts, seeds, oats, grains, things like that, you're still going to get enough fiber in your diet. So ultimately, it's really just down to the individual and what it is their goals are. You shouldn't really be in a situation where you're constantly hungry, nor should you be in a situation where you're constantly full and you're trying to squeeze the calories in. Neither of them are very sustainable, and eventually you'll crack and you'll just give up. You also need to understand that regardless of whether you're on a bulk or a cut, it doesn't mean you have to avoid certain foods. You just have to have an understanding of the calorie content that is within them and the effect they will have once you'll consume them. Are you going to feel full from consuming them, or are you going to feel like you're going to want to eat more? And it's not to say, it's not the end of the world if you consume a little bit of junk from time to time. Obviously all the foods I've used in this video are pretty healthy. Almost all of them are unprocessed, and generally that's the best approach to take. But I do have a bit of junk from time to time. On a weekend I'll have a cheat meal and I'll have a little something else on the side. It depends. A general approach which works for me is if I stick to around 80 to 90% of my food consumption being unprocessed foods which basically come from the ground, and then another 10, possibly 20% which is a little bit more processed. But it's really down to the individual again. So I hope you've learned a few things from this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.